A lot of y'all be lying to females, don't know yourself, really acting like you all that special and you ain't got nothing going for you. How are you a king? You ain't built nothing, you ain't done nothing. Like, really step it up. Look, today is the first episode in pod of Kingly Conversations, and I'm gonna be doing this a lot more often. But first and foremost, fix yourself, fix your choices, your words, the fact you can't tell the truth, especially to a female. But look, let me get into today's first topic. First, you gotta know yourself and build yourself up. A lot of people I talk to don't know what they want to do, where they want to go, who they want to be, and how they want to compose their life. And y'all expecting to get king treatment from females, from friends, from family. If you don't have anything going for yourself, and mind you, I am somewhat in that position. I'm trying to build some things, do some things, but I'm still learning about myself day by day. The biggest thing, though, is actually have a plan, and whether that plan has to be adjusted, I have to change some things up and shake and move some things. I at least have thought about it, and I have a goal and a direction. A lot of y'all just be sitting down smoking blunts, trying to eat some chips, don't go to the gym, don't work on yourself in any type of way, and picked up a book in 7 years since you had a high school assignment. But you want to be thought of as a king. You want to act like just because you sell some weed, you doing some shit on the side, means that people supposed to respect you. You're corny, to keep it a buck. Look, I'm going to bring in a couple quotes from 48 Laws of Power and use specific laws to break down some of these things. So we're going to start with law number 5 today. So much depends on your reputation. Guard it with your life. Reputation is the cornerstone of power. Through reputation alone, you can intimidate and win. Once it slips, however, you are vulnerable and will be attacked on all sides. Make your reputation unassailable. Always be alert to potential attacks and thwart them before they happen. Meanwhile, learn to destroy your enemies by opening up holes in their own reputation, then stand aside and let the public opinions hang them. How many of you guys have even thought about your reputation? How many people out here have really let you know that you're not who you think you are, you're not what you want to be and how you want to be, and you just be like, they're a hater? No, you're just stupid. You haven't taken the time to, again, build anything, work on yourself, become somebody worth being looked at as a king. You don't have no goals, you don't have no responsibility, and you're not trying to add any on your plate. How can anybody respect you, call you a king, think of you in any high regard when you don't even do that for yourself? And honestly, it's really crazy to me because some of y'all be real confident, real bold, and expect a lot. I've done more than 90% of you guys in my short 23 years, and I still be having struggles with being confident. I know I'm a king. I know I'm working on some shit. And I still be like, bro, I'm not doing enough. I haven't built enough. I haven't gone nowhere really. And I'm going farther than a lot of y'all. How does that work? Like, I actually need to know. Someone, matter of fact, comment what about you and your character, what about you and your goals, your aspirations make you a king? And if you can't go in the comments and let me know, then maybe you should question a lot of aspects about what you got going on, bro. Like, come on. I want to sit here and talk to kings. This is a kingly conversation. But not many of y'all really got aspirations of being a king. Many of y'all don't even have aspirations of being a duke, a dutch, a whatever. Y'all don't have goals. Y'all don't have nothing that really puts you in the position of me wanting to respect you, let alone anybody else. Right? So really take time to think about your reputation. Start building one. Start working on building yourself, learning yourself, having the community know who you are. People talking about they run Tacoma, they run this place, they run that place. And you just a dude who be at home smoking weed and going to parties. Like, you're a bum. You really are a bum. And to go along with that, a lot of y'all can't even be honest with women. You're corny. What type of king, like, actually slow down. What type of king has to lie to a woman? Especially to get some sex. If you really a king, women will be lining up trying to get with you. It will not be difficult to get females. And trust me, I'm no Don, I'm no playboy. And I've definitely had my fair share by being straight up honest about what I want, who I am, and what I have going for me. But you're a king and you gotta lie? One of us in the wrong position, and I don't think it's me, to keep it a bean. You feel me? So the second thing that I really want to talk about is, as a king, as someone trying to build up yourself and what you have going for you in your life, you really need to watch the people around you. At some point, there needs to be a time when you test the people around you to really see their loyalty. Sometimes try telling them no. Because I've been through a couple situations with a couple people I've been friends with since I was young. You feel me? Super young. And the second they got what they wanted, and then I told them no, never heard from them again. And so it's one of those things where, as you level up, as you grow, as you learn about yourself and start creating what you said you would, now it's a thing of, to protect yourself and protect your assets, you got to really take time to look at the people around you and see if they're really there for you or there for what you're doing for them. Because if you don't take that time to really evaluate the people that are around you, people will use you, people will abuse you, and then throw you off to the side, as cliche as it sounds. Because a lot of people say it, but a lot of people don't really experience it because they're not doing shit. They're not really on a king's track. They're not really trying to build nothing. So you really don't have to worry about the people around you trying to take advantage of you, use you. And even then, what's worse is, even in that situation, a lot of people still have to deal with users, abusers. And they're not even working for something special. That's what's crazy. Right? So to back this point up, I'm going to go with law number 2 from 48 Laws of Power. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Be wary of friends. They will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy. They also become spoiled and tyrannical. But hire a former enemy and he will be more loyal than a friend, because he has more to prove. In fact, you have more to fear from friends than from enemies. If you have no enemies, find a way to make them. So this is something that I've actually experienced both sides of, putting too much trust in friends and also using an enemy and having them become a friend, to be quite frank. And I'll start with the enemy situation just because I feel like a lot of people might look at that as a crazy statement. But back when I was younger, I had a friend, a lady friend. She ended up telling me she started talking to another guy. She wanted to cut me off, whoop-de-wop, whatever. But she was still hitting me up on the side to link up, hang out, do this, do that, whatever. And she ended up finding a way to get me and him connected. And we were beefing over the phone, Snapchatting each other like, oh, you're blah, 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 you're whatever, whatever. And ultimately, over time, me and him ended up linking up at this one carnival that was held in my hometown. I walked up on him and I was like, hey, look, you're this dude, right? And he was like, yeah, you're Terrell, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm Terrell. Nice to meet you. Look, I'm not about to beef over a female. To me, this is stupid. It's worthless. Like, that's your girl now. You can have her. I don't have no problems with you. I'm Terrell. Nice to meet you. And he was like, you know what's crazy? I actually just cut her off. So that's not my girl. And I definitely wasn't about to continue beefing over a girl anyways, too. So then me and him dapped up. And me and him like started chopping it up, getting to know each other for a second. And then that same girl walked up and me and him looked at each other and just started dying. And then she got pink in the face and walked off. And since that day, me and him have been cool. And right now I'm trying to get into the military. I'm trying to join as an officer. And so I had to put down people who knew me from specific areas that I lived in. And he's actually one of my references. And it's crazy how beefing turned into one of my best friendships. Who, this man is a man of God. So he bought me the Bible I still read to this day. He's got me a bunch of stuff. When I see his mom, I call her moms. Like, me and him are locked in. We're like brothers. And it all became because of beef. You know what I mean? But on the flip side, I've also dealt with trust in friends too much. And I'm not going to go too much in detail, but I'm going to put it this way. There was somebody who was like a brother, and he kept asking me for stuff. And me being a good friend, I always tried to just provide what I could when I could. And I had just sent him some bucks, like 500. And then after a week after I sent him 500, he ended up hitting me up and being like, hey, bro, I need 1,200. And I was like, I can't do it. I don't got the bucks. Like, bad news. And he was like, oh, bet. No worries. No worries. And then I didn't hear from him for like 3 months. Then after that 3-month period, he ended up hitting me up, was like, hey, bro, sorry for going MIA, blah, 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 whoop-de-wop. hey, let's do this business venture, blah blah blah, and you feel me, all I need you to do is drop a K on me and I'll get 10 and da 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 da. And I was like, no, I really don't want to. I got my own shit going on right now. I'm focused, I'm locked in, but appreciate the offer. And he was like, no, like, you're gonna do this, hop on this Zoom tonight, like, don't be playing. And I was like, no, but appreciate it again. And then we went our separate ways, and I ended up going to the gym. And while I was at the gym, I got a text, and it was a link to the Zoom meeting. And he was like, join the Zoom in 30 minutes. I'm not playing with you, bro. And I'm in the gym, so first off, I just ignored the text. But when I got home, I was like, what are you talking about? You're not playing with me. Like, it sounds like those are fighting words, bruh. And he never replied. And to this day, about a month and a half later, I still haven't heard another word from him. So I ended up just like cutting him off. I deleted him off my social media, deleted his phone number, all that. Like, there's no reason to be in contact, no reason to, you feel me, be cool with them or even see him as a friend anymore. The fact that I told him no one time, he ends up disappearing for months, and then I tell him no again, and he wants to act weird. That's not acceptable. So you need to really watch the people around you, because I got off lucky. I genuinely did. I found out just by saying no and not giving him what he wanted that I couldn't trust him and he shouldn't be somebody that's in my life. And on the flip side, other people could have gone through, tried to help them out more, tried to do more for this person, and then ended up, you feel me, being in a bad situation. And tied into that, you need to watch the people around you and how they treat other people. Because for me, with that same friend, there were situations where I seen how he interacted with his ex. I seen how he interacted with his other homeboys, and I'd see it and be like, that's kind of weird, but he haven't treated me that way, so I'm gonna just let it slide. And as time progressed, when he didn't get what he wanted, he treated me that same type of way. So the same treatment that your friends give to other people, regardless of how it goes, if things hit the fan, they gonna treat you that same type of way. I'm that calm person where if we get in a disagreement, I don't like something you said, whatever, I'm gonna just move on, cut you out of my life. I don't have time for the drama and the extraness. But other people, they really feel as if they should treat you wrong, go out of their way to do all this extra stuff. And if that's how your friend is towards other people, just imagine what they'll do to you, knowing all the information about you that you gave them because you guys were friends. All the information you entrusted in them, they're going to use that against you. They'll try and take as much as they can away from you. They'll put you in horrible situations because now you guys are no longer friends. They're not getting what they want, right? And so I believe that's tied into law number 10. Infection. Avoid the unhappy and the unlucky. You can die from someone else's misery. Emotional states are as infectious as diseases. You may feel that helping the drowning man is beneficial. You are only precipitating your own disaster. The unfortunate sometimes draw misfortune on themselves. They will also draw it on you. Associate with the happy and fortunate instead. And this is something that I can abide by in that same situation. Homeboy was unhappy and unfortunate. There was a lot of things that would happen to him week by week, and I was his go-to, and I'd try and help as much as possible. And even with his ex, it was a weird situation where I didn't really know her. I didn't have a problem with her, but they broke up. And at the time, they were staying in the same crib. And I was on the phone with them, and she was like, oh, hi, TJ. And he was like, shut the up. You're not about to talk to him. TJ don't fuck with you. And I was just like, I mean, I'm not cool with her, but I don't got a problem with her. What the fuck? And he was like, yes, you do. You don't fuck with her because I don't fuck with her. And I was like, how you going to tell me who I do and don't fuck with? That's different. Be careful of the people around you, because if someone is constantly facing misery, sometimes they tend to be a person who searches for misery, and they want to bring you into that because misery loves company. So you need to watch yourself, watch the people around you, and make sure you're constantly sifting through them to make sure that you're not being used, you're not being manipulated, and people aren't using you to get what they want just so they can dump you like I've gone through. And I gave you my own example, right? So then I'm going to go to topic number 3 and tie back into what I said about watch the people around you and their levels of honesty. Y'all need to learn to be honest, to be able to tell the truth, especially to these females. How do you think you get off? Like, where do you get off thinking it's okay to lie to a female to get in her guts? To me, that's corny. If you have to lie, if you have to fake, if you have to put on a facade to get something out of someone, regardless of if it's a female in sex, regardless of if it's a job, regardless of whatever it is, you're lame. You're a bum. And that's coming from me. Right now, I stay at my mom's crib, drive my mom's car to work, and I still get girls. I don't have to lie about that. You feel me? It's one of those things of I'm just so true, so honest that, like, genuinely, matter of fact, I've been told to stop telling the truth so much. There have been plenty of girls who have been like, I appreciate you being honest and I respect it, but you need to just stop telling me the honest truth. Like, sometimes just lie or just don't tell me because you know it'll hurt my feelings. Because I've always been that type of person. I'm just blunt. I'm so cool and confident in saying the truth and being honest that it doesn't faze me to tell the truth. Whereas some of y'all take pride in lying, which is the corniest shit. No king is going to sit here and lie for no reason. Maybe there's a point in being cunning, which will tie into the two laws I'm about to talk about, but to lie, to blatantly just lie for no reason, to be a compulsive liar is corny. You're really a loser and a nerd if you have to lie to a female, but if you have to lie at all. One of my homeboys actually told me a quote. I don't know from who and from what, but he specifically said, I don't lie because I'm not afraid of anything. You lie because you're afraid of the consequences of what's going to happen when you tell the truth. And when he said that, I want to say I was like 17, 18, and that was some of the realest shit I ever heard, because I was like, that is pretty real. Every time I lie is usually to get out of a situation. I don't ever feel the need to lie if I feel like nothing's going to happen. And so I started just taking whatever happened to the chin when it came to telling the truth. If I tell a girl I only want to mess around and she's like, oh, that's not what I want, I'm going to move on. Cool, move on. There's others. Like, if I talk to a job and I try and get an interview and they're like, oh, well, what happened in this situation? I tell them and they're like, well, that disqualifies you. Well, it disqualifies me. At the end of the day, you know the truth and you going to choose me for me, or we just going to go our separate ways. There's no questions. I don't need to lie. Like, that's corny. And tied into lying is knowing the limitations of what you should talk about and what you shouldn't talk about. Because law number, and I believe it's 4. Yeah. So law number 4 is always say less than necessary. When you're trying to impress people with words, the more you say, the more common you appear and the less in control. Even if you're saying something banal, it will seem original if you make it vague, open-ended, and sphinx-like. Powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish. And I've run into this problem a lot of times. 1, with women, but also 2, just in various situations in life, at work. There's a lot of times where, like, I'm ready to say something and I realize, like, I need to bite my tongue because saying this could cause problems that I just don't even want to deal with. Even then, when it comes to, like, gossip, people, like, love talking about other people's business. People love going out of their way to speak on this and speak on that. And it's like, if it's not making you money, you don't know if it's true, and it's not beneficial to other people's lives, why are you even talking about it? Say less than necessary. And that's something that I've really, really been able to put into effect, because as I've gotten into situations talking to people who have been doing more than me with their lives and building things for themselves, I've noticed if I go, hey, I want to sit down and talk to you, learn about your experience, your life, and just, learn about how I can make myself a better person. And we get in like an interview type setting, even though it's over coffee. If I take the time to really sit down with them and then ask a question and then reply, okay, that's interesting, and then stop and just stare at them for a few seconds, they will continue to talk and talk and talk. They don't know how to stop, because so many people are so uncomfortable with short periods of silence that if you give people time enough to talk, they will say everything that's on their mind. They will treat you like a therapist and open up about everything. So you can, in that sense, you can use that to gauge the people that are around you, like was in the last topic. You know what I mean? Because when you say less, people are trying to figure you out the same way you're trying to figure them out, but they don't know how to control that urge to speak, that urge and desire to just let whatever's on their mind come out. Which then ties into the next law, which is law number 3, conceal your intentions. Keep people off balance and in the dark by never revealing the purpose behind your actions. If they have no clue what you are up to, they cannot prepare a defense. Guard, guide them far enough down the wrong path, envelope them in enough smoke, and by the time they realize your intentions, it will be too late. This, conceal your intentions, that should be your number one utmost priority, tied in with always saying less than necessary. Because if people don't know what's going on, if people don't understand your actions, your moves, why you're denying going out to this party and that party and whatever else, then people are going to start to assume and they're going to talk, which will bolster up your reputation for good or for bad. But also, it just allows you to work in silence. I advocate for really, really failing. Go out and work and fail. Mess up. Try again. Do more. Do it until you're getting better, being better, and living better. And once you get to that point and you've really focused on failing through until you succeed, then you pop out. But when you start revealing what you have going on, when you start talking about your intentions, then people start trying to talk, make sly comments, they distract you. But if you don't tell them what you're doing, people can't stop you. People can't get in your way. People can't put up roadblocks. It's the same thing as never trust friends too much. Because when you trust friends too much, you reveal too much, and then they start becoming the roadblocks. How many of you have tried to go out and do something and your family members were like, oh, you shouldn't do that, you're going to fail? Or your friends were like, oh, be realistic, that's not whatever. You know what I mean? You need to take the time to really slow down and stop and be like, this is what I have going on for myself. So I'm going to keep this between me, God, and myself. And I'm about to go and get this figured out. I'm going to do it. And granted, I'm not the best advocate for that information just because of the fact that I'm making this YouTube to reveal what I have going on. But there's still certain things and points of activities I have to get through before I'll even bring it to you. So most of what you see will be just after the fact. It's not like I'm planning on going and doing this deal. I'm planning on going and doing this venture. I'm planning on doing this. It's this is what I have going on, but you're not going to know the intricate details. And even then, most of you guys don't have constant access to me. I spend very little time with anybody besides my family and my girl. So I'd be ducked off, you feel me? So it's like you guys don't really have that opportunity to get in the way of what I have going on in the first place. And then, now, we're going to finish up real quick with Law 25, recreate yourself. And that's pretty much what this has all been about. And ultimately, one, you need to learn about yourself, figure out what you're building, who you're trying to build for, what you're trying to build for, and find your purpose. And then you need to watch the people around you because they're going to be the ones holding you back and making you stay the same person you constantly are, or already are, excuse me. So now we're going to go to Law 25, which is recreate yourself. Do not accept the rules society foists on you. Recreate yourself by forging a new identity, one that commands attention, never bores the audience. Be the master of your own image rather than letting others define it for you. Incorporate dramatic devices into your public gestures and actions. Your power will be enhanced and your character will seem larger than life. Which, again, ties into this entire conversation. Now that I've gone over being honest, knowing what to say, how to say it, you feel me, watching the people around you and knowing yourself and building yourself up, the most important part of that is knowing who you want to be, how you want to be it, and creating that. And I can't tell you how you should compose yourself as a king and what type of king you want to be, because some people want to be a tyrant, other people want to be a kind, loving king who gets a queen and settles down. That's on you. That's what you got to decide, and that's for you and your environment. But ultimately, you need to recreate yourself. At the beginning of this, I started talking about how a lot of you guys are bums. All you do is smoke weed, eat your nachos, and watch Netflix or play 2K. You feel me? Well, recreate yourself. Go from being that to the dude who's in the gym, the dude who reads, the dude who, you feel me, is honest with females and treats them right so much so that they constantly fall in love, despite the fact you said, I'm not looking for a relationship. So if you want one, we got to cut things off. You know how real it is to be able to do that? Just be so on your grind, be so honest, be so pure, be so clean, just on your shit, that females fall in love and get mad at you because you told them exactly what you were expecting. They said that's fine, and now they want you to change up. At that point, they can't be mad at you. And I've talked to plenty of females about that, where it's like, if I come into this situation and say, I'm not looking for a relationship, like, this ain't even a sneaky link, like, I just want to beat, we can hang out sometimes, whatever, but then after that, you gotta move on and go home, and you end up wanting to date me, and that's not what I signed up for, and I cut you off, you cannot be mad. And I've had a lot of situations like that where it's like I came into it and I was just like, look, that's not what I don't desire a relationship right now. I got too much going on, and I'm supposed to be moving in a few months. A few months pass, and now they're like, oh, why don't you want to date? And it's like, I told you, I'm about to be moving soon. I didn't want a relationship, but since that's what you wanted, or that's what you want now, I got to cut it off. And they'll be like, no, no, I want to keep doing what we have going on. Like, I don't want to lose you. And I'm like, if that's what you want, that's fine. But just know a relationship is not coming. And they'll be like, oh, okay. Same conversation pops up. By time two, I'm like, all right, this your last strike. I'm on the same type vibe. No relationship. Got my own stuff going on. If you want more, kick it to the door. And the cycle repeats until I have to cut them off. The one thing I can stay in that is I'm so honest and so pure about my intentions that they can't get mad. I'm just truthful. I'm just honest. And even then, on that same point, as I've been recreating myself, the level of women that I attract is actually increased. It's gotten to a point where it's like, one, I have a girl now, but two, it's when I wasn't on my kingly shit, I was attracting girls that were just throwaways, weren't respecting themselves, weren't respecting the environment around them. They weren't what I would look at to have a wife or a relationship, point blank, period. And then as I start to grow more confident, recreate myself, really build myself up and bolster myself up, then it was like I started meeting girls with more self-respect. They had goals, aspirations, wanted to do big things. They believed in me and were like, okay, I see your mission. You're inspiring me to get on my mission, and I want to build something alongside you. And then it got to a point where now it's like they see my mission, they hear what I have going on, and they see that I'm actually serious about it. And they're like, I see your mission. I want to build next to you, but I want you to build your kingdom, and I want to be a part of that. So it's really a thing of you need to decide who you want to be, level up the people around you, level up yourself, level up your choice in women, be honest to these women, be real to everybody around you, conceal your intentions, always say less than necessary. You feel me? All these small little things, and you will really get to a better place in life and become a better man than you can expect. But quit acting like a peasant, you bum.